True North Reviews, True North Reviews, True North Reviews.
Hey there, welcome to True North Reviews. My name is Ryan, and today we are doing an episode of Hot and Cold. This is a video series I like to do where I talk about the best and worst music I heard over the past week, the hot being the best, the worst being the cold, and some middle-of-the-road tracks as well. As per usual, the songs will be linked down below in the description for you to check out, for you to listen to, for you to share your thoughts. Also, don't forget to leave your recommendations for new songs, requests for me to check out, and I will feature them on an upcoming episode of Hot and Cold. All right, let's get on into it. We have a couple requests this week to get to. First up, we have the song Hot by Pia Mia, I'm not too sure on the pronunciation. And as you could tell with the title Hot, you would think it's a hot track, but it's far from it, sorry to say. Keep in mind, I'm not sexually repressed or anything, but the lyrics on here get to be pretty bland, and you combine that with like a light pop instrumental, it's coming off very generic. It also doesn't help that the refrain is quite irritating too. Did not really enjoy this track in the slightest. Anyways, the other request we have to check out this week, I listened to it. It is by the artist Maluma. The song is entitled Hawaii. It's got a pretty generic Latin beat, but it is very danceable. I can get into a little groove with it. It's well produced, pretty smooth singing on this track as well. Now keep in mind, I didn't really bother to read the translated lyrics. For all we know, they could be ripping on Taylor Swift, and I wouldn't really know better. But that aside, the song is still enjoyable. All right, moving on to the hot tracks, the best of the week. First up, we have BTS on their single Dynamite, and yes, I am actually really enjoying this song. A few things I really like about it. It's got a catchy tune, a very catchy tune at that. Secondly, it's like BTS are taking the modern spin on disco, which is just clogging up the airwaves in 2020. They put a nice spin on it. It's not like thinking outside the box or anything, but still pretty good. And thirdly, I would say it's very pristine and very clean with its mix, and just the production, as you would expect from K-pop and BTS being so mainstream. It would have to have that high gloss and sheen. So yeah, I'm really digging that track. Now, it might be a little contrived or too calculated for chart success for some people, but it's a fun song. I can't deny it. Just like I can't deny the Killers. They have a new album out this past week, Imploding the Mirage. I picked a song from there to land on the hot tracks. It is called My God. It features Weyes Blood. This one sounds very Florence the Machine-ish. You've got the chamber pop, the infectious hook, some stellar production, very grand and eerie vocals, of course, because of Weyes Blood. Definitely one of the brightest spots on the new Killers record. So yeah, a killer song from the Killers this week to recommend. Moving on, we have Deftones on their new single Ohms. This is some hard rock. I love the distorted guitar on here, and the tune is pretty impressive. Deftones finally announcing their new album on its way, September 25th. Getting really excited for that, along with the new Idols project coming out on the same day. So should be an exciting time for rock and punk fans coming up at the end of September. Keeping the foot on the pedal, some more hot tracks. Another rock song, as this week was kind of full of good rock songs. We have JJ Wilde on her track Best Boy. And with this track, it's sounding like JJ is not that satisfied with just releasing a debut album, as yes, she's already putting out another new single here. I'm not quite sure if this is a B-side from that new record, but if the quality is any kind of predictor or any kind of indication of what this song is, it might be pointing towards more new music. The guitars on here, for one, very lively, relentless. JJ's vocals are purposely rough. Now, they're not sung out of tune or anything, just a rough and gruff female lead vocalist that I enjoy, especially when she comes through with a catchy tune, as there is one on this song. In fact, the woohoos in the hook are almost kind of like a classic homage to Sympathy for the Devil. So yeah, don't miss out on those rock songs this week. Got some pretty fire stuff from those artists. Keeping the hot tracks going, though, with some other genres. Up next, we have A.G. Cook on his single Oh Yeah. A bit of a different sound for A.G., sounding a lot more singer-songwriter influenced. It's got that feel to it, but with a bit more of a faint electronic backdrop. Of course, A.G. Cook can get pretty weird and wacky with his production abilities, helping out Charlie XCX on her stuff, but this is a solo track that forgoes all the glitches and glitter and just offers up a good slice of songwriting. Moving on, we have 2 new singles from Father John Misty, To S and To R, getting a little mysterious with the track titles. I don't really know what the S and R stand for. I certainly hope the R stands for Ryan, because if this song was written for me, oh, I would be so happy. Regardless, it just sounds like Father John Misty's getting back on track. Not that he puts out any bad material, it's just this is the folksy and depressing stuff I always picture him singing over. Very majestic and luxurious backdrops with the strings driven by the piano and acoustic guitar. These singles could easily slide onto pure comedy, in my opinion. And we all know how much I love pure comedy. But moving on, wrapping up the hot tracks this week, we have Travis Scott on the single The Plan. This is from the motion picture Tenet. We got some psych trap on here, dark and doomy beat, lots of sub bass. It makes this track as great as it is. It is also immaculately produced, and you know what? This is written for a movie, but if no one told me, I wouldn't know better. I think Travis nails this song. He doesn't take the easy way out, as many artists typically do when it comes to soundtracks. Anyways, next up we have the middle of the road tracks. I thought these were okay, not amazing, not terrible. First up we have The Neighbourhood on the single Devil's Advocate. This is the second middle of the road track from the American alt-rock group in as many weeks. I don't know, everything on their last record was pretty god-awful if you ask me. This new stuff is a step in the right direction for sure. It's tolerable to listen to, but it's still missing something. Like, I'm not fully engaged while I'm listening, so it's like, sadly, The Neighbourhood, they're always going to be held against their first record, which was pretty great, but for now, they're just feeling like a shell of their former selves. Moving on, we have the country artist Hardy on his new single, Boyfriend, kind of facing a similar issue to what The Neighbourhood are going through right now. Nothing to distinguish from the tens of hundreds of other songs out there. In this case, Hardy, being a country artist, very generic country this song is. It's one of those times I hear the song and I'm just like, I've heard this before, and that's sadly the only reaction I get from it. Next up, we have Aminé on a leftover track from his latest record. It is called Hello. I love Aminé's flow in the middle of this track. Unfortunately, this song is just missing some kind of melody or chorus to wrap everything together and make it pretty cohesive, because it's playing on the short end of the stick, and I guess that's why it didn't make the cut for Limbo anyways. Maybe this was just some kind of demo and it was mastered to sound better, but it just didn't have any extra feature, I'm guessing. Anyways, moving on, we have Angel Olsen on her single Waving, Smiling. With this, I like the lullaby kind of chord progression to it. Definitely could put me to sleep softly with Angel's beautiful vocals. However, I am patiently awaiting for Angel Olsen to round out the rest of her sound with some sort of instrumentation. Maybe I'm missing the point. Maybe this is the sound on the new record. In that case, I might be kicking and screaming, not wanting to give up the last record that we got from her, which was pretty great in my opinion, so I guess we'll see. And now, finally, this week, the cold tracks, the worst of the worst. We have Pharrell Williams featuring Jay-Z on their brand new single, Entrepreneur. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Pharrell, one of his worst vocal performances that I've ever heard from him. Unflattering whispers, just bad singing. I mean, it doesn't help with a crappy instrumental that he's working with here. It gets to be really one note and annoying with all the woofing and whistling going on. I'm just shocked that Jay-Z wanted to be a part of something so atrociously bad. Like, he's easily the best part of this track, but that's not that hard to accomplish. What Makes a Woman is the next song I'm going to be talking about. It is by Katy Perry, and it is what makes a horrible song, frankly. I don't know what Katy was aiming for with this new track. I'm seriously getting whiffs of old school Miley Cyrus, like a mellower version to The Climb, possibly. I don't know, the vocal inflections definitely make that comparison apparent to me, at least. Maybe not as bombastic or emotional with its instrumental, but my god, I have a guilty pleasure for The Climb, but this song, I don't enjoy it one bit. It does not sit well with me. Much like this next track from Charlie Puth, yes, back-to-back weeks with Charlie Puth landing on the cold tracks. This one's entitled Free, and Charlie's vocal performance is underwhelming at best. With that said, it's weird hearing him have this vibrato on the end of the longer notes that he holds, very awkwardly, I might add. It's very subtle, but I think Disney mistakenly got the wrong artist for this track. Maybe they were looking to have Post Malone on here. He probably would have denied, and then the producers were just left looking to the next artist like, oh yeah, Charlie Puth, he has some songs that could fit the bill for a Disney soundtrack. As yeah, this is a Disney soundtrack that very much sounds like it is meant for Disney in the worst possible way. And wrapping up everything this week, we have a new single from Madison Beer. It is entitled Baby, and if I'm being honest, she's a pretty girl. She's got some singing ability, she's got some talent there, but come on, this song is flat out derivative. It's like it's taken straight out of Ariana Grande's Sweetener or Thank You Next. Madison has got Ariana's vocals down to a T. The harmonies, the attitude, she even says yeah. Yeah, not cutting it. I do enjoy the sexual lyrics and how carefree they are, but this song isn't anything I'll be returning to in the next coming weeks, that's for sure. There you have it. There's Hot and Cold for this week. Make sure you guys sound off down below in the comments. Let me know what you guys think of this music. Whether you agree or disagree, I'm here to engage with you guys. If you'd like to leave a like, subscribe if you're new in town, I'd appreciate that. As always, thanks for watching, and have a rockin' day.